Hello, all, and welcome to this read. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a mashup. I'm going to combine just because they fall on the same day. Normally, I would do the week read and just do that, but we've got a new moon in Virgo. Forgot to change my calendar, so I can't see. It's today, though, as far as I remember. If not, like later tonight into tomorrow. So we're going to read the moon cards like we would normally do and take that as the first part of the week. And then we'll just read some regular energy chakra cards for the tail part of the week and see where we're at. But let's talk about what, from what we're getting with this moon, you know, is what we're looking at. So it's interesting because we're heading into Virgo season, or we're in Virgo season. So some of the highlights of that, it's funny because as I was prepping to do this, I'm like, my sister's a Virgo, and it's the epitome of her character kind of thing. It's like she's very um, introverted, and not in a bad way, right? Like sometimes we think introverts are, it's not so good, right? But she's also a very introspective person, like really, like I think she's a really deep thinker. She, takes everything in and really, you know, mulls it over and goes through it. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but that's the same with all of us, right? So I think the highlights of Virgo season are, the big one is like is going within our inner wisdom and really trusting what we're hearing. So like that's sort of what we're being asked to do right now. It is a little more independent too, or introverted. So whereas last week we started to like pull in, more connections to our tribes and things like that. Um, we're being given this little like kind of break with Virgo. It's really interesting too because I feel like it is a break because we're about to head into eclipse season, right? The two eclipses are coming up. I'll have to get the dates for those next week. I haven't actually looked at it, so and I won't bore you with trying to find it on the phone right now, but it's coming up. So use this time to um, to just align yourself. Um, One of the big things is the self-care element, but this is like treating your body as a temple, right? Doing the self-healing that you need to do, knowing that you can self-heal, knowing that you are whole and complete. The thing with this new moon is that it's in Virgo, so it's bringing in, Virgo too is a lot about cleansing, being introspective, being a little like, tending to the inner details, purifying of our mind and body and spirit. So this particular new moon has us doing things like, the funny thing that came up though, and this has been coming up just in general, like I had a lot of people suffering like body aches, pains, fatigue. Um, it's just like we're just not hydrated enough. It's really difficult to keep up right now. So do your best to keep yourself hydrated. Um, and also like in water if you get the opportunity, baths, um, maybe go to the pool or whatever, hot springs if you still got time to do those. The keys with this new moon are getting into nature, working with crystals, again, journaling, setting intentions, maybe clearing and cleansing space, um, or just like you may already have your space where you meditate. Just make sure you've done a good cleanse, a sage, or whatever, and just it's almost like starting anew, right? I always compare this time too as like this is when the kids go back to school and we go into this new but old routine, right? Of like it's our fall routine and that sort of thing. So and we switch our food, in the Chinese medicine, like we're heading into more colder temperatures, so we eat more soups and stews rather than salads and that kind of thing. So doing those kinds of things, really nourishing your body though, I think is like, and not just your body, like the physical body, but your mind and your spirit as well. So doing things like meditating. The nice thing about this moon is it's bringing in like fresh, this new energy is coming in and it's fresh and it's new. So it's like we have a clean slate. right? So take advantage of that this week for sure. But let's go to the cards and see what they have to say. So again, we're going to read this like we would the week reading. We're going to use the moon cards for the first part and the chakra cards for the second. But what we always do is just get a basis. So what is this? Oh, that one came right out. What is this moon all about? Ooh, interesting. Justice. I am truthful with others and myself, and I take full responsibility for my choices. Interesting. So this week is about, yeah, again, a lot of the, we're still in this thing of the truths, right? The truth is being revealed. There's more and more truths coming out, from not just in the world, but personally and things like that. So I would just say, make sure this week you're being responsible about your throat chakra, like speaking your truth. Um, and yeah, and doing it lovingly, right? We don't need to shout from the things or get people to agree with us anymore. We're long past that. If they're not coming, they're not coming. Like, there's just no other way to put it. So, um, and like I said, don't worry about it because you'll be surprised. Do I need to take both? Mm, okay. It's always interesting. Okay, the first card up is the influence card, which I always say it's the oops, knocking stuff on the floor. It's the moon cycle, right? So, um, what I'm picking up is that it's allow this time to help cleanse and clear you. That's what it's been put into play so that we can do that. So take it, not take advantage of it, but like do it. Like I always love too, again, the peace dove, and at the heart chakra there's a heart. So yeah, just allowing that energy to flow in. Um, we also got moderation. This for me is the Virgo card, right? It's like just take it easy this week, right? Let things come in naturally. There's a lot of energy coming in with these cards. And so it's like, and formation is like, it's, but like if you look at that person, they're just, they're just being. They're allowing the change and the formation to happen like as organically as possible. So make sure this week we're really embracing that. Let's grab this card. Okay, so let's read the moon cards. Oops, I'm doing this backwards. And again, I'm going to keep this fairly short. I'm not going to do the really detailed moon one that we read. Um, but I'll just read one of each of these for this moon. Yeah. Ooh, these are going funny. Yeah, it's nice though. It's nice when we get these breaks. So the thing is it's like it's not that things just by looking at these cards, it's not that the outside world is gonna like give us a break too. Like it's still gonna be roaring full tilt. We need to just like pull back and not engage or however you want to word that. It's just time for us to kind of it is. It's just go within. Just be you. Don't think of it as selfish. Take the time you need. Um, make sure you're actively processing things because that's, when we do these cards, it's like, what is going to get us through this time? Like, what do we need to do? So the cards are definitely saying, like, that's still going to be chaotic out there. Here's why. I'll just read the cards. Emotions are high, and we have the full scape of the moon. But it's funny because it's almost like I know that's the moon. It's a super moon. So yeah, just things are really intense. And we just came off that super moon, the full moon. So um those energies are still at play in the outside world. But we also got like breathe through the tension. So again, focusing this more inward and not and kind of I don't want to say block it out because there's important information coming in all the time, but don't let it inundate you. Make sure you're taking those media breaks, like, you know, I took a media break, although it's really hard on things like Telegram because then you end up with like thousands of messages. Yeah. So, but take a break. And the reason you want to take a break is two things that you need to be doing: processing our feelings, howl at the moon. It's funny, we don't have a full moon, so we won't be able to see it, so we can't really howl at it. But working on, yeah, working on like meditating and whatever's coming to you, processing those emotions, just actively working on ourselves, our self-care. And again, every time this happens every time right before we hit something major. And these eclipses, again, eclipses are notorious for, like, we think we're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. And it's like it's just not sometimes. They're very like intense and powerful and kind of crazy. Um, we also got the Hawk Prince, spirit communication and paying attention. Immediately what I'm getting with that too is in the beginning part of this week is like when you're doing these meditations and things is really connecting with spirit, whether you're, like it said, go out in nature, do those kind of things. um, they're talking to us so much all the time, and telling us things, and it's really important that we're processing that information, so not just our emotions and our feelings, but like taking in whatever they're channeling to you, because it's really important right now to pay attention. It's what's going to get us through this next little piece. Um, and they have so much to say. Like this last week, I've had so many signs and symbols. It's been, yeah, like they're communicating very efficiently and very easily. It's, you basically just have to quiet your mind enough to listen and ask too, right? What do I need to know about this moment or about this thing? Oh, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, before we do the second half of the week, I'm just going to do these little, I'm going to do three of these. So these little moon advice cards. Oops, that's funny. Okay, there's still like a lot of this piece about making sure we're, keeping purity of thought. Again, Virgo, really pure, really um, like clean thought. The reason I'm saying this is it's like we're okay. The first step is I am the creator of my future. So again, if we're being inundated by what's going on in that outside world and we're letting it consume us, or we're paying too much attention to it, we're not listening to spirit, we're just creating more of that further down the road. So be really cautious this week about what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and that you're actively working on it. We're not just sweeping it under the rug, right? Like that's not a Virgo clean. A Virgo clean, like you get a Virgo to clean your house, like every square inch will be touched. So like it's that kind of thing. Like again, it's another week of do the work. Like don't 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 stray at this time. Don't get lazy. And it's funny because today, like, I should be cleaning my house. That's my what I was supposed to do today, but I'm just like I'm so exhausted from the last couple of weeks. I'm just like I'm basically gonna do this reading, and that's the extent of my day. Oh, I raked the yard a little bit, but whatever. Okay, I am protected. If we're still, I feel like we're still like, because it's the unknown and we're not sure where we're headed and all that stuff. We're kind of putting a lot out there of like, uh, I don't feel safe, or I'm not I'm feeling fearful of that outside situation and those sorts of things. So work really hard this week, uh, knowing and trusting. It's that thing with the Virgo season is like trusting our inner voice, right? So it's not just about listening to the guides and all of that. It's like really listening to yourself, right? Going in and doing the inner work and trusting that the answers you're getting are coming from your heart chakra, your heart center, and saying, you've got this, and we've got this, and we've got your back, and everything is going to be fine. We also got, I bring positive energy into my life. So yeah, doing things that you know that can that aids with. So whether that's journaling, um, manifestation work, all of that stuff. So making sure we're doing those things this week. So much fun. Okay, let's get set up here to read the second half of the week. And then we'll do one card to finish from the Nature's Rhythm Oracle. Okay, let's take a look at what the remainder of the week, what we need to be focusing on. And then it'll probably go the same way for next week too, with because the ninth will be the energy read. Um, the ninth will be the energy read, but it'll also be the 9-9 portal. So I'll do those probably at the same time too. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, didn't I say at the beginning there's a little bit of like throat chakra stuff coming up? It's just the thing is it's all surrounding the truth, which is interesting. Yeah, this is just another week of just looking at these cards. There's still going to be lots of disclosure and truths coming out, and just us like wading through it. We got this. All right, second half of the week. First up, ears wide open. Again, this is I'm not feeling like this isn't again, it's not the outside world. It's listening for that inner voice so that we can start to to understand that we already hold all these truths, and we have all the answers, even though like sometimes people are like, I can't do this, I don't have this, every single one of us does. So it's funny too because it's a throat chakra card, which and throat chakra, we got another one too, is really it came up at the beginning of the week, but it's all about our truth, our discernment, like what we're listening to, what you know what we're believing. Are we taking that in and believing some other story, or are we really taking it in and asking our inner self and our inner voice, like, is this true? Does this resonate for me? Is this something I want to get behind? Those sorts of things. So definitely looks like a week of definite introspection, like huge amounts of introspection. Because we also got a throat chakra card with the key at the throat. And she's got the key. You have the key, right? Truth, transparency, sincerity, communication. So that's the thing about our truth too. Like whatever that happens to be, is when we go to speak that, we have to do it in the most sincere and loving way possible. But it's because we have enough faith and belief in it that it's true, and for us that we can speak it in love. We don't have to, often, it's classic when someone's shouting their truth at you, their truth, but they're shouting it at you and they're doing it in a like ram it down your throat kind of way. It's not, it's disingenuous, and it's usually not honest. And they're usually yelling to cover up the fact that they don't even really believe it, right? Lots of stuff this week with throat chakra. So do the work around that. It's really helpful. It's important to know too. It's important for you to know yourself. Like that is the key of like alchemy in this universe, like spiritual alchemy, is to know thyself, to truly know who you are and why are you here? What do you stand for? What do you believe? All right, the other cards, we got a couple, so we'll just read them both. Um, okay. First up is passion. So again, we've had this card before, and it's interesting though, because it's like I always say, this person, if you look, it's actually like a newspaper under the chair, and they seem really solemn and not interested. So, but here's this girl reading her beautiful story of truth, and the thing is that it's the outside world is exactly how this girl's painting it, not this fake news stuff down here. So, um, I mean, we're almost getting that thing. It's like you want to get this work done and make sure you're speaking your truth, because even though it appears that falls on deaf ears, it might make a difference. So it's kind of like saying a little bit like, get ready to get up on your soapbox, but be ready so that you're authentically and sincerely, or yes, uh, sincerity, right? That's the word. So you're going to be we're going to be in a position soon where we have to speak our truth, and but make sure that we're ready to do it, that we're very transparent, that we're being truthful, that we believe it, that we resonated with it, like that we're not spewing out something of somebody else's. So yeah, really introspective this week, but it's like it's introspective to do the work for you. What why are you here? But but not seeking that answer in the outside world, or some other guru or anything like that. This is listening to your inner self. Ask those questions. Get ready for the answers, because if it's coming up now as part of like the work we need to do during this downtime, is it's going to be required during that eclipse. So be prepared. Acceptance is what we also got. I always read this card. It's like if you her name tag says cherry. Um it's it's a cherry pie. It's like everything about her is about cherries. But it's almost like she's just not it's not that she's in denial, but it's just like she's got spirit at her back. It's root chakra. And it's just like, hey, like this is what it is. And like you are. I think this centers more around the fact that um we don't think that we have these skills and that kind of thing. It's like they're like but you are this, right? Like that piece of the pie is out of the pie, but it's still a piece of the pie and it makes the pie whole. Like everybody's needed right now, and things, we need to start to accept that we are these divine beings, and we're part of this plan. And so we have to be right with ourselves before we can help out others. So, yeah, I feel like we're just getting the be prepared um, warning. The things are going to be coming up. We need them. Interesting. Okay, so we also got the rebel card, which, and all the chains are being broken, right? What is that other image? I think it's just like a hand, breaking free of the chains. Um, yeah, all I can say is whatever's about to happen in the outside world is it's time for us to like stand up, rebel. Oops, I shouldn't say that. They're gonna totally flag me. I'm not telling you to stand up and rebel. But it's the chains are breaking. So freedom is imminent. Um, yeah, it's time. It's time to like for us to claim our sovereignty and 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 say this is who I am. And I, everything else I won't abide by. Like I will only abide by what my soul and tells me what to do. Right? We also got the adventure card. So it's like for me that's tipping us off. Like and that's what we've been waiting for, right? All that light, all that color, all the glory to come in. You know, it's we're so close, right? We're just speaking into it with that childlike innocence. So I think this is a good week. It's kind of just setting the stage for what's to come, which is pretty awesome. I don't mind that at all. All right, we won't do the sum up with the cards like we usually do. We'll use this Nature's Rhythm Oracle to sum it up and that's where we're going to leave it for this week. And like I said, I'm going to double up readings moving forward to you just because they fall on the same day. Like today, this new moon falls on what I would do the normal read. So I could have done 2 videos, but they said it was okay to just put it all together. Okay. Oh, man, this is awesome. I've never got this card, but it's funny because we were talking about the alchemy of spirit, right? Alchemize your spirit, to be an alchemist of your spirit. The key first lesson is know thyself. We got the alchemy card. Number 33. Too. All right, let's see. This is going to be a really powerful message. And just feel it already. I am authentic in what I create. There's that word again, authenticity. Very throat chakra week, you guys. I create extraordinary things out of ordinary material. Alchemy can be observed daily. Your very heart is a portal where an alchemical process takes place. Rest with your heart and ask it, how do you feel? Allow that feeling to spiral counterclockwise through the central column of your body to the center of Mother Earth. Come back up to your heart and initiate a spiral clockwise through the crown of your head and to the center of the universe. Interesting. It's kind of like what it said though, is it's like, it's time to get connected, like really connected and really be listening. Listening seems to be more important than talking this week. Ears wide open. Take in everything. Discern it. Just figure out what is the truth, what is sincere, who's being transparent, who's not being transparent. The communication piece, I think it's like it's not something we're going to stand up and do right now, but like it's like we're preparing to give a speech. So, yeah, do the prep work. Prepare what you want to say. What are you trying to say? Make sure all the ducks are in a row so that we're ready for the speech, right? We're not just going to get up and give a speech and not do any prep work for it. Well, you might want to, but that would scare the bejesus out of me. So, so I would do the work. Anyway, let's read this one more time because instead of you having to like rewind, um, and then basically I feel like we're being given a little piece of homework here. Okay. Alchemy can be observed daily. That's key. Your very heart is a portal where an alchemical process takes place. Rest with your heart and ask it, how do you feel? This is a great meditation to do it. Allow that feeling to spiral counterclockwise through the center column of your body to the center of Mother Earth. Come back up to your heart and initiate a spiral clockwise through the crown and into the center of the universe. Yay. All right. Yeah, I'd be curious if any of you do that. If you want to drop in the comments what occurred for you, that would be awesome. I promise I will look at them this time. I'm so notoriously bad for just popping stuff up, but not really looking at what I've done or looking back and seeing the comments and seeing if anybody viewed it. Like honestly, I don't do that often, but because I've asked you to, I will take a look. Plus, I want to know how you guys are feeling. Like, if you're watching this, it's because you're getting something out of it, and you must be on that part of your journey. So yeah, it's always nice just to see. I mean, one of the biggest things I found for this past week is that it is unbelievable how much, like how many people are, I don't want to say waking up because it's not, they're already like awake, but a lot of our gifts are coming online, like really coming online, like really the intuition in people is like really picking up, and people are starting to ask more questions about energy and all of that. So there's definitely something occurring to raise that up, right? So yeah, just I don't know what else to say about that. Like, but definitely, I just feel like I'm like, you need to do the sum up cards. Things. All right, I'll do the sum up cards. So, but what are we looking at by the end of the week? The Lovers. I would just love this, even if it's like we're not talking relationships, but I see the divine in myself reflected in another. Yeah, everybody's waking up. Everybody is like to the fact that, hey, we're divine beings. And this is going to be an amazing time on this planet. We came to make a shift. Yeah, we get the revision card. So I again, this is definitely like this is like the inner work, doing the like a lot of it is questioning. Ask the questions you always want the answers to, but ask yourself. Don't ask me. Don't ask other gurus. Don't ask the outside world. We need to start communicating with ourselves, right? There's a inner there's the inner child. There's all these aspects of us that are just of our spirit that are just waiting to share information with us. So you may be well in tune with that information already at this point, but if you haven't, really do the introspective deep dive. Self work and self care seems to be the big thing. Just like be taking care of yourself. Like I said, we always seem to get these little lulls where I mean, we're still doing work, but the important part is that we're taking a bit of a break, but we're taking care of ourselves because energetically, like, a nice next big wave of stuff is coming in, right? And honestly, this is how it's going to be for the next couple years. Just it just is. So do the work, do the visioning, do the asking, do the work. So I can't say it any other way. Oh, this is the perfect way to sum it up. And again, can't make this crap up. Faith. Find holiness within. I don't need to say anything else about that, right? It's a lot about, like I said, go within, ask the questions, listen for the answers, trust your intuition, the answers you get, all of it, because it's all there for us to take in and to understand. So, all right, it's a good week. Even I'm going to be doing this work because, also I could use the break. It's just been like intensity, so it's nice to get a breather. Breathe through the tension and just allow and listen and understand. And we've got this, you guys. Okay. Have a really good week. And we'll see you next week for the portal and the week read.